police, when he lied to the state attorney, when he was doing his proffer, when he was given another chance, when he finally told the story that they wanted to hear and say, but that's evidence of a conspiracy? You can't trust the words of Curtis Wayne Wright.
And you just heard a little bit there, the request for an acquittal due to lack of evidence. So I do want to bring in our legal expert here, Pam C. So Pam, as you watched this play out in the courtroom, what did you think as an expert in this field? I mean, do you think that there are grounds for an acquittal?
Well, first of all, what was happening there was a motion for judgment of acquittal. It's a JOA. And this is standard, certainly in a trial of this magnitude. But at the close of the state's case, what the defense will do is make a motion to say this deserves acquittal because there is insufficient evidence to prove all of the elements of the crime.
And do you think there is a lack of evidence here?
Definitely there is. However, there is sufficient circumstantial evidence and there is some testimony. And that information, it is up to the jury to determine whether it's credible. It's not up to the judge. That is the jury's responsibility. So my feeling on it is this: yes, this is going to go to the jury, but it's going to be a long uphill battle, and I don't know for certain what's going to come of this.
And so on Monday is when we're going to hear more from the judge on his decision on that acquittal. So Pam, thank you so much for joining us tonight and giving us a little bit about what we can expect coming up on Monday. Now, it could be weeks before this trial is over, and Fox 4 is in your corner. We are following this from beginning to end, and you can also find more information on all of the trial on our website. Remember, that's fox4now.com. Also, I do want to point out that we are going to do a debrief on the Fox 4 Facebook page tonight. That's going to be with myself and Sandra and Pam. And if you have any questions, maybe we didn't touch on something that you want to ask a question about, we're going to do our best to answer all of those questions for you. That's going to be tonight around 7:30, so make sure you head over to the Fox 4 Facebook page. In downtown Fort Myers, Lauren Petrelli, Fox 4 in your corner.
Keep trying. Every day you're gonna face obstacles. You just gotta think about what are you doing it for.
A Southwest Florida man helping people in your community move for a living. What inspired him to quit his other job and start this business? And he's sharing the key to happy customers. And happening right now, a live look on Fox 4 News at 6, the 34th annual Oktoberfest. In full swing in Cape Coral, this is the German American Social Club on Pine Island Road. They've got the German food, the beer, the music, the crafts, and already the crowd. And some dancing's going on there. Yeah, Fox 4 is one of the proud sponsors. The fun continues through Sunday and then starts up again next Friday through Sunday. So, Post, lass uns mal Toast, ma. Fox 4 News at 6 continues right after this. Derek?
Less expert. Live from the station that's in your corner. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
We don't want to just sling stuff on the news and see what sticks with you. You tell us what you want to see. A lot of you are telling us you're drawn to this type of story. You have a skill, you have an idea, you dream about going into business for yourself. Well, the man you're about to meet in Southwest Florida took that chance. He left a stable job and went after his dream. On this Southwest Florida Reinvented, morning anchor Chris Shaw shows you the importance of staying strong no matter what life throws at you.
Most people get a little anxious when they see what Deshaun Strong does every day. But the truth is he loves it. Lifting, lugging, and lining up every box. Whether it's the back of the truck or the front, this is his office.
You love moving. What do you like about moving? Because most people hate moving.
I know, right? I just love interacting with customers, you know, just listening to customers telling their story.
Deshaun's own story, right now at least, is also one of moving somewhere new. And it's based on this question.
Why am I living somebody else's dream and not fulfilling my own?
To get the answer, let's go back a few years. Growing up, Deshaun was close to his mom.
We were born on the same day, and you know, she was the person you come and talk to when you like feeling down. And you know, she always told us, you know, just believe in yourself and just keep God first.
Remember what he just said, and this too. As he was going through Lehigh Senior High School, Deshaun's parents made sure he also learned this lesson.
Treat everybody with respect and, you know, treat everybody as equal.
A couple of years later in college is when Deshaun found his calling.
For the summer, I just wanted to earn extra money, so I started working at a moving company and just fell in love with it.
And he was good at it. For the next 11 years, he worked his way to being a star at a nationally known moving company.
They ranked your movers and drivers, and my customer care was off the charts. With that, I became the #2 mover in the whole nation.
He says he got there by following his parents' advice about how to treat people. But last year, he lost the light that guided him. His mom passed away.
Did her passing help you make this decision?
Yeah, yes, sir. You know, just every day, you know, when I wake up now, I just want to go out and make my mom proud and make my family proud. And, you know, just become the man that she always envisioned in me.
She was the inspiration for Strong Movers, as in their last name. This is Deshaun fulfilling his own dream, not working for someone else.
It was doubts, but, you know, me and my wife talked it over, and she just believed in me. You know, I wasn't accepting failure.
That's what his mom used to tell him, and it got him through a tough first year in business.
It seems like in reading some of the reviews of your company that you really connect with the customers in ways that they're surprised about.
We just basically do what we were taught as, you know, youngster, me and my brother.
It goes back to respect and a fun social media campaign that plays off their last name.
I was just thinking of a strategy, you know, to just get our brand out there. So I just started asking the customers would they be willing to take a picture. And now that it's out there, they'd be like, oh, are we gonna take a picture? And I was like, I'd be like, yeah, we can take a picture, sure.
The success is coming slowly, but there's enough of it now to share with his community. This is a back-to-school bag drive he sponsored, and he plans to give away turkeys for Thanksgiving.
The more and more we grow, the more we can do for the community, not just the Dunbar community, but, you know, the whole Southwest Florida in general.
He wants to show kids especially that they can reinvent their situation, but they have to be strong.
Just don't give up on yourself. Just keep trying, keep trying. Every day you're gonna face obstacles. You just gotta think about what are you doing it for. For me, I'm doing it for my kids and my family.
Such a good story. If you or somebody you know has a story like this about how a person reinvents himself or herself to find success, Chris Shaw does such an awesome job of letting you tell the story, and he facilitates it. So you can send him a message on Facebook right now. Just look for Chris Shaw, Fox 4.
All right, our Start Smart Sky Cam tonight from the Pink Shell over at Fort Myers Beach, showing a little bit different scene from what we've been seeing lately. Normally this time we'd see lots of sunshine, but we're seeing those clouds rolling in, and look at the surf kicking up. That's going to be a problem at the area beaches here for this weekend as we watch now developed Tropical Storm Nestor, which is going to be making landfall in the Florida Panhandle earlier tomorrow morning. And it's going to be spreading gusty winds, heavy rainfall, the threat for isolated tornadoes and storm surge for areas especially just off towards our north. Here's what's going on right now. We're tracking some of those showers now that are lifting northward across the region. These have developed within the last hour, lifting north along and just east of Highway 29. Looks like one trying to extend back westward towards Lehigh and East Lee County. But for the most part, these are the ones that are developing inland and pushing almost due north towards LaBelle. We're going to keep an eye on any of these storms that try to fire up over the Gulf. These are some of the outer bands, if you will, with Nestor. And a lot of times with these tropical systems, we get enough wind shear, the wind's twisting as you go up higher in the atmosphere to get these storms to rotate. And we're getting some indications that some of these storms are trying to rotate. So we're going to watch them as they get closer to the coast later on this evening. There is a very low-end severe weather threat this evening just to take that into account for basically Fort Myers northward up towards Arcadia, Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, including Palmdale as well. And some of these storms, as they lift northward, northward into that high wind shear environment could very well rotate and produce isolated tornadoes as well as waterspouts. We'll keep an eye on it throughout the evening and let you know the latest if anything like that does happen to occur. But the center is right here. All the storms are over on the east side, so it's a very lopsided system. That's why it's really not intensifying, even though the water temperatures are very warm out here, but expected to make landfall sometime early tomorrow morning in the vicinity of Panama City, and then quickly move towards the north and east into Georgia and the Carolinas later tomorrow and into portions of Sunday. You can see that the severe weather risk tomorrow still there. I-4 points northward if you're going to be heading up to Orlando tomorrow, Ocala, Gainesville, Jacksonville, over towards even as far west as Tallahassee. The potential is there for tornadoes with some of those storms as they do move inland, along with the wind and, of course, the rainfall that they're going to be getting. Now, I do think we're going to see that initial round of storms this evening. That'll lift northward, and then we're going to be tracking off and on showers and storms tomorrow, particularly during the afternoon. And the winds are going to be gusting. We're expecting wind gusts over 30 miles per hour at times throughout the day. And then we're going to continue to see chances for rain into Saturday night into Sunday as some of this moisture kind of hangs out on the very tail end of it. I do think, though, things will start to dry out a little bit here by the time we head towards later Sunday. So here's your future winds. As we go through tonight, the winds are going to pick up out of the southeast, gusts over 20, and then as we go to the afternoon tomorrow, we're looking at wind gusts over 30 miles per hour at times. So it looks like the windiest period will be between tonight and tomorrow night. By Sunday, though, those winds should calm down some. So here's what you can expect for Saturday. It'll be windy throughout the day. Winds will be gusting over 30 miles per hour out of the south and then becoming more onshore and southwesterly. That's when the rip current risk is going to ramp up, and we could see tides running about a foot above average. Off and on showers and storms and a high rip current risk, of course, staying in the vicinity here all the way through Sunday. So tonight, mostly cloudy, breezy, chance for showers and storms, 76. Tomorrow, 85, chance for showers and storms around. Southwest winds 15 to 25 with gusts over 30 at times. 7-day forecast, chances for rain continue into Sunday, and then next week, our next cold front arrives around Wednesday with chances for rain until then.
I had extreme dermatitis on my hands to a point where my knuckles were painful to even make a fist.
A Florida hairstylist who battled a skin disease is sharing what inspired her to switch up the products in her salon. How she's turning her business green. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
Curated.
Unless it's Halloween yet, not a lot of people are looking around going, hey, we're going to get green hair at a salon. But there is a salon on the Treasure Coast just north of West Palm Beach where they are being green, and it's an important part of their business plan. About 8 years ago, the hairstylist there, Rebecca, knew she had to make a change. She had extreme dermatitis in her hands. Her knuckles were so painful and swollen, she couldn't make a fist. She had alopecia, which caused her to lose her hair. She believed it was caused by a combination of stress and chemical exposure. So when she opened the Lotus Room Salon, she made a decision to use as few toxic chemicals as possible.
It's giving people a place to come where they can follow their values and still have traditional hair color.
Well, stylists use nozzles that have helped reduce water use by 65%. She says they recycle up to 95% of their waste. And this year, her business was awarded an Environmental Stewardship Award from the Keep Martin Beautiful organization that's in Martin County. Well, next time you have to have the flu or the strep, maybe you won't have to go to the doctor to get the medication you need. The Florida bill that calls for you to get tested and treated at the pharmacy all at once. It is Fox 4 Friday Football Frenzy, giving you a live look at tonight's game of the week. It's going to be extra special, happening in Charlotte County. How the community is honoring a brave teenager who paid the ultimate price for protecting his sister. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
Your warehouse.
Live from the station that's in your corner. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
More now on the testimony from this man today and the disturbing images shown in court. 17 hammer strikes to the head of Dr. Teresa Sievers left her dead inside her Bonita home in 2015. Jimmy Rogers, the man you're seeing now, is on trial. The man who testified against him again this morning, Curtis Wright, has admitted to his role in that attack, says that he did it because his best friend, the doctor's husband, hired him and Jimmy Rogers to attack her in that way. way. I'm Patrick Nolan, along with my colleague Lauren Petrilli, who's anchoring our coverage live from the Lee County Courthouse. Another very difficult day in court, and I can understand why the doctor's family didn't want to be in the courtroom for part of this. Lauren?
Oh, Patrick, absolutely. Today was not only a hard day to listen to what was happening in the courtroom, it was a hard day to watch, and that's because of what the medical examiner was showing. During the autopsy report review, you could really see some gruesome photos that we don't even want to show you because they were so horrific. And I want to bring in Sandra Rodriguez here because she is our eyes and ears inside of the courtroom. We're going to talk about those autopsy photos and how the family of Teresa Sievers reacted in just a second. But first, this morning, we heard from Curtis Wayne Wright, and I really want to point out the defense tried to question his motive for taking that plea bargain. So what did you learn in the courtroom about that today?
Well, they started talking about how he initially had not been fully truthful in the statements made to the detectives, and they also brought up, why he took this plea deal and why he pled guilty to second-degree murder instead of the first degree when he never had mentioned Roger's name during the prior statements made to detectives. And they also asked him if he had been asked to take a lie detector test, and he said that they never asked him, but he was willing to do it.
That was one of the big things that really went down in the courtroom today. We also have our Court TV crime and justice reporter, that's Julia Janae, and she also touched on some of the things that the defense was trying to score on today inside of that courtroom.
One of the obvious things that they're trying to bring out is that he is lying and he is the one that caused this murder and that there was no one else involved and that Jimmy Ray Rogers was just the fall person. And they brought that up in several ways. One of them being they show that he wasn't necessarily protecting Jimmy Rogers. He let him bring his own cell phone to this plot. He let him buy souvenirs for his kids and for his girlfriend and bring them back to Missouri, which was proof that he had been in Florida.
So, Sandra, that was one of the big things that went down in the courtroom today. The second one was the medical examiner's review of the autopsy report. I didn't even know Teresa Sievers, and that was hard for me to watch as he went through all of those reports and papers and pictures. How did her family in the courtroom react to that?
Well, as soon as he started talking about Teresa's body, her mom walked out. Now, typically the evidence that they've been presenting, they put it on a projector, but these photographs, he walked to the jury and was showing them, explaining the different lacerations on Teresa's scalp, face, bruises on her body, and he said that there was at least a minimum of 17 lacerations. There was one that was bigger, and he says that one is a composite of at least 3 big blows, and he describes what those lacerations look like.
This is a picture of the back of the head now, and you're able to see the additional injuries on the back of the head. There's one large open wound just behind the right ear that allows visualization of the underlying brain and brain matter.
And Sandra, court will resume on Monday, and the one thing that we can expect to play out on Monday is going to be I guess you would say an explanation from the judge, because the defense actually presented a motion for acquittal due to lack of evidence. So what is all of that? What can we expect moving forward with an acquittal?
Well, they're saying that the state only has circumstantial evidence, and the evidence that is not circumstantial is just the testimony of Taylor Showmaker and Curtis Wright. And they're saying that those testimonies are inconsistent, therefore they shouldn't really believe them. And they're saying, just like Julia Janae mentioned, that Rogers came with his personal cell phone. He bought souvenirs for his girlfriend. So to him, this was just a vacation. It was not, he didn't come here to commit murder. But this is what the defense said.
That is the type of person who would take 17 swings at an innocent victim and then look her children in the eye and hug them at her funeral.
Now, they're talking about Curtis right here and how the defense shouldn't really believe, the jury shouldn't really believe him Because if he's the type of person that could look at the daughters in the eyes after killing their mother, who's to say what he could do?
And so we're going to hear more from the judge on Monday about that acquittal. We'll hear more about his decision. So that's what we're going to look forward to on Monday. But this could be weeks before this trial is over, and Fox 4 is in your corner. We are your eyes and ears inside of that courtroom with all things with the Teresa Sievers murder trial. You can get more information on our website, fox4now.com. We're also updating you on all of our social media platforms. Tonight, we're also going to do a live Facebook debrief. That's going to be at 7 o'clock. If you have any questions, you can hop on. You can ask those questions. We'll have Sandra here. We'll also have a legal expert who's going to try and answer some of those questions for you as well. In downtown Fort Myers, Lauren Petrelli, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Some Florida lawmakers want a new law that would give pharmacists more leeway to do what you normally have to wait to go to the doctor for: test and treat you for stuff like flu and strep. Fox 4's Jillian Hartman has been talking to the head pharmacist at Cypress Pharmacy in Fort Myers to get his perspective. Jill?
We've all been there, getting strep throat or coming down with the flu, then having to try to squeeze in that doctor's appointment. Well, this new bill could help get you treated and tested with a one-stop shop at the pharmacy.
It'll make access to healthcare quicker.
A Florida Senate and House bill proposes to let pharmacists, just like TJ DePaula, test and treat patients for the flu and strep throat.
That way it bypasses having to go and sit in a doctor's office and wait for a long period of time.
The bills will allow pharmacists who meet certain requirements to do this without having to go through the doctor.
Right now, since the bill hasn't passed, we would still have to contact the doctor to get the prescription if they test positive for flu or strep.
I had strep about 5 times in my college days and got my tonsils out.
Kathleen Coughlin says it's a lot of work going to the doctor's office, and just making a trip to the pharmacy would make things easier for her niece's kids.
As opposed to having to make an appointment with her primary care doctor, and she works and they have to go to multiple different locations to be treated for one thing.
Now, the idea isn't new. 15 other states already allow pharmacists to test and treat the common and highly contagious infections. DePaula says this could save you time and money.
It's a $40 fee for the test, either strep or flu, and then the patient would just pay the copay for the medication.
Plus, boost the level of care at pharmacies across the state.
Take a lot of pressure off of the doctors during season, because it can help reduce their already high patient load.
Now, the Senate bill was rejected in the legislature, and a similar House bill was also rejected, but I'm told another bill will be reintroduced possibly for the upcoming legislative session this January. In Fort Myers, I'm Jillian Hartman, Fox 4, in your corner.
Well, we now finally have Tropical Storm Nestor in the eastern Gulf. It's moving quickly towards the coast of Florida up near the Panhandle, expected to make landfall late tonight, early tomorrow morning, somewhere in the vicinity of Panama City. You can see all the storms, though, are on the right side, so it is being sheared by westerly winds in the upper atmosphere, and that's keeping it from intensifying quickly. But you can see now winds are at 60. It's moving northeast at 22 miles per hour. It's expected to bring tropical storm force winds for a good section of North Florida into parts of the Panhandle as we go through later on tonight and tomorrow. Also a threat for tornadoes as we go throughout the overnight hours, especially along and north of Interstate 4 into tomorrow, the area in green. We've got all kinds of hazards with this. It looks like this far south, though, we do have a threat for perhaps some isolated tornadoes near the coast this evening, and then more storms in the forecast tomorrow, though I think the tornado threat will be a little bit farther north, and also it's going to be windy here for your Saturday. We'll talk all about it in your forecast in just a bit.
Thanks, Dare. Fox 4 is on Water Watch for you tonight. We're keeping you up to date on the red tide algae blooms in our area. Now, the latest red tide update is showing high concentrations offshore of Collier County and then background to medium concentrations along the Lee County coastline. We have had marine life kills in Lee and Collier counties at the beaches, and also reports of respiratory irritation along the shore in Charlotte County and in Lee and Collier counties as well. It's Friday Football Frenzy right here on Fox 4. The Peace River rivalry is happening tonight. This means the Port Charlotte Pirates take on the Charlotte Fightin' Tarpons, and this game could decide who makes the playoffs. Our Rachel Lloyd is live at Charlotte High, where there's a special honor tonight for that Charlotte County teenager, Rach. So many people thinking about him after he lost his life defending his sister.
Yes, people are doing a lot to honor him, and as you can see, Charlotte High is back behind me. They're starting to warm up, and if you look over in the stands, lots of people are wearing the color white, and they're also wearing green. That was Kyler's favorite color. They have these green bracelets. They also have this green ribbon here. That was his favorite color, and coming up, ROTC will be honoring him with a tribute right before kickoff. They're remembering him today as a hero. Like you said, Patrick, he was killed last month when he was trying to protect his younger sister. He was a sophomore here at Charlotte High School, and he was also a part of the ROTC program, and he was just honored as a hero. That's coming up at 7:10. That's when they'll be doing that, and so many